Hey guys, it's Stell from Hot Movies. So now we get to see Dillon Gabriel on full display against the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, and look, I think the media has been fair for giving Dillon Gabriel some space to go into this game without so much Shedeur Sanders talk. And you know what? Everybody was wondering, okay, let's give Dillon Gabriel a chance. Okay, I think a lot of people were highly impressed with what Shedeur Sanders did, albeit it was the Carolina Panthers. But at the same time, if he played bad, people would have been, quick to jump on Shedeur Sanders, right? Saying, worthy exactly, he should have been a 5th round pick or dropped even lower, right? But that's not the case. So he showed out, and obviously Shedeur Sanders had his oblique injury, so he wasn't going to play this game. So the decks was cleared for Dillon Gabriel to show out, albeit against the Philadelphia Eagles. A rather difficult defense, probably the top defense, if not the best defense in the NFL, regardless of ones or twos. They're pretty good. Okay, so look, the first quarter was great. Okay, 8 of 9, Dillon. Okay, but he had that turnover. He had the pick six, and I mean, look, man, that pick six, that was actually a really good interception by the DB. Okay, because I mean, it looked like he split 2 or 3 wide receivers to get that interception. So, would he have liked that pass back? Obviously, but I mean, as he finishes out his drives with a QBR total of 72, I think Shedeur Sanders had like a 106 or 110, something like that, right? So, the eye test, to be fair to Dillon Gabriel, he didn't look bad. Okay, he didn't look bad at all. If Shedeur Sanders wasn't on his team and he was looked at as the quarterback of the future, not a bad outing. However, when you have a Shedeur Sanders on your team, this circus, now, this performance is going to get, obviously, be compared to Shedeur Sanders, and obviously Shedeur Sanders had a better outing, scoring, being on drives, totaling up to 21 points. As a Dillon Gabriel, I think his drive only totals 12 points, right? So, overall, I think we have a healthy QB competition. I think it's good, okay? I'm not going to bash Dillon Gabriel and be like, oh, Shedeur. No, I think that both guys showed some things, okay? Me personally, I think that, Shedeur Sanders should still be able to rise to number 2. But you know what? I feel that whoever decided to pick Shedeur Sanders, was the owner or the GM, to me, I still feel like it was the owner, not the GM. But if the GMs want to look good, they needed Dillon Gabriel to have somewhat of a decent performance to bring something to the table. And he did that with 143 yards. Shedeur Sanders had 138 yards, so 5 more yards. But Shedeur Sanders had a clean game, no turnovers, okay? He had that turnover and a lower QBR, but the competition was a little bit better in terms of who Dillon Gabriel was facing. So you got to factor that in. The math can get a little tricky when you want to really look, if you don't go straight for the numbers and you look at, how he played the pocket. Okay, the eye test, Shedeur Sanders just looks like he just has the it factor, right? Dillon Gabriel, I mean, he looked pretty confident, looked good out there too, but I think that they had to make sure that, he looked really good and that they scripted some things up for him because, I mean, he was the 3rd pick, okay? It would have been a shame if he had went out there and looked really, really bad, okay? And that wasn't the case. So, like I said, we got to help the QB competition. Look, man, I think, I know the fans and everybody, at least the Cleveland fans and Shedeur fans, want him to be the number 2 and eventually start, right? I think that the Browns' politics, though, is not going to be that direct, okay? I think that this performance didn't really move Shedeur Sanders up or down. I mean, I don't really view the depth chart. I'm not going to take that depth chart seriously, but for the sake of the depth chart after this week, I think everybody stays packed, okay? Now, what would be funny is if Dillon Gabriel moves up to number 2 in the depth chart. That would be very interesting, though, right? Now, even though the depth charts don't really matter, but the noise and the chitter chatter that would happen. So, I think everything stays intact. I really do. Okay. If the Browns want to avoid any type of drama and going into the 3rd preseason game, then just leave the depth chart at where it is right now, right? But it's the Browns, and I can see the Browns moving this dude up, going to stir more drama, and the Shedeur fans, Cleveland Brown fans who wish his hands to play, will make a lot of noise, right? Kevin Stefanski is going to have his work cut out for him in this, with his depth chart stuff. All right, I know Joe Flacco's the guy. Is really going to be who's going to be that number 2 guy. Is Kenny Pickett going to play at any point in the preseason? Right? I don't know. But for me, I think Shedeur Sanders is still clearly the number 2 quarterback, though I think Dillon Gabriel had a pretty good, decent showcasing for himself. Albeit because Shedeur's on the team, like I said, then this is going to get parsed to death. And people could, I can see people coming at Dillon Gabriel, or not coming at Dillon Gabriel, but like, you know, be dismissive of this performance. I'm not going to do that, even though I think Shedeur Sanders should eventually be the starter, but be on number 2. But to be fair, let's see the next preseason game they have, and if either of those guys will play, honestly, right? Could the next preseason game be the game to determine who gets to be the number 2? We shall see. Y'all know what y'all think about this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.